So case study for manhole cover. Alright, and the manhole cover, if you don't know, is actually this type of thing in normal roads. So manhole means that it's a hole for a man to go in. Alright, that's why it's a manhole cover. Alright, is to maintain the sewage. Alright, the water, whatever thing that's going on below. And they actually developed, so it's from UK, they developed this manhole that is lightweight, that even the largest can be lifted by hand. So it's very lightweight, but it's kind of stiff. Alright, I believe it's kind of stiff, so that when you step upon it, it didn't actually break. Because if you think about it, your manhole, where's any? Give me a while. Oh, okay. Okay, for example, this is the hole. Alright, so sometimes, not sometimes, it's definitely there will be a concrete over here, and then you place your manhole on top. So when people step onto it, okay, this thing should be able to withstand before it breaks. Alright, so it should be able to withstand this thing over here to break. Alright, so therefore the certain stiffness must be over there. Okay, and therefore they actually use the resin transfer molding method. If you don't know, you have a certain molding. So for example, you have a mold over here, then this is the shape. So you have a tube, so you feed the tube with a certain resin, and then the resin will go into here, and then you fill up the thing, you cure it with for some time with a certain temperature, and then you take it out. Alright, you have the shape, and that's all it is for the resin transfer molding part. And because it's a composite, you can't scrap it actually. Alright, because normally people will steal the manhole and then they go and sell for scrapping. Alright, so composite has no scrap value, and therefore this is a good issue. Alright, and prevent the problems lah. So because if you have metal cover, people will always steal it. Alright, which is a real issue. So therefore composite itself as it. Alright, and this market is very big. It's because in Singapore, trying to steal the metal manhole is very tough. Alright, therefore in Singapore, rarely do people want to steal it. But in other countries, the density of population is very less dense, or very sparsely populated, and therefore there will be manhole around the path, and people, and at night there is very little people, almost no people, so therefore people would actually steal it. Yeah, something like that lah. And therefore take a look of the advantages. These are all the advantages, you should go and take note of it. Alright, and yeah, I think you can read it yourself. There's nothing different. And take note of the capacity. Load capacity A15B125. Alright, let's take a look. So the numbers has certain issue. Like for example, 75 can carry about 387 load. If you have a load index of 84, you can carry this type of load. So they actually have this type of things. So different alphabet, different values will tell you how well this material can take in the certain load. So this is how they are calculated. And let's take a look over here. Smart manhole with embedded antenna. This is a smart manhole cover. Alright, it's totally different from what we have said just now already. Okay, so this one is with a embedded antenna. Alright, so what is being said is that for a single sewage system to handle both storm sewage, meaning the rainfall, and a sanitary sewage, meaning from buildings and homes, like your toilet or whatever thing. So they want to actually investigate on the amount of water flow through it, I think. So therefore they actually need a antenna to actually transmit the signal of how the water would flow. So therefore they actually embedded the antenna layer within your sandwich structure. As you can see, it's all over here. It's a thin layer. So this is how they actually do it lah, I think. Okay, and you should go and check it out lah. If you're free, you just read out this part. Alright, so therefore this is the challenge. Alright, and yeah, because if you have a certain antenna below the ground, alright, the transmission may be affected. So therefore you want something that is above the ground but is protected or things like that. So this is why they created this thing. And yeah lor. And also to also help you to monitor the traffic patterns, also the weather also, yeah, and radiation patterns from the sun, I think. So I think this is the thing going on. And is there any other stuff? For the factors for considerations, if you all the way head back again, in the case, in the design consideration, the 7 things, alright, for the manhole also have, okay, which is at the this last part. Actually only one part oh okay, there's 6 parts. So over here, ship size and finishing, this is only for the embedded antenna, alright, main cover with embedded antenna. So they actually ensure that the core may also include electronic antenna to send microwave signal, things like that. And I'll just let you to read the things. So there's a composite shear web, I think is to prevent shearing from occurring, so it's pretty cool. And average property may be taken. Yeah, let's take a look at the composite shear web. Go to this website, airfield models, alright, and you can go to, when you type shear webs, you can go to this forum and they actually recommend this link. You click this link, it comes here. So the shear web itself, if you were to just take a look, is this one. I think it should be this thing. This is the shear web, I think. This whole thing is the shear web. Alright, I will believe lah. Okay, same thing over here, this is the shear web. I will believe. Okay, I may be wrong. For you to think about it. So nothing much. Yeah, I think you can read that yourself. Nylon, okay, never mind. I think that's all. So the loading path is over here. The core material will take shear stress and contribute to bending stiffness, alright, using the shear webs. So they will bring the shear stress into as a bending stiffness. I mean, they will bring the shearing to the bending part. So they'll increase the bending stiffness. They'll convert the shearing part to the bending, because your bending is strong. So therefore, it's okay. Alright, things like that. Same thing, strength and stiffness. How to determine? You use your same other stuff. Then failure criteria. Safety against 2. That's all I think. Differential thermal expansion between upper and lower phases, because your manhole over here, this is outside the environment, so it's hot, but below there is quite of cold, so there will be a thermal difference between them, so you should take note of that. And also water ingress and chemicals. Mechanical testing, so they will use a 40-ton loading, I think some car or whatever, to do. And then I think quite straightforward. Joining and cutting, no trimming is needed, because but the metallic insert is joined. I don't know what the hell. Standardization, take note of this thing in case in the future you may need it. So there will be a standardization BSAN. I don't know what the hell. Let's take a look. So these are the manhole tops, so-called standardization. It's a standards for British manhole, I think. So yeah lor. At least you should know some things. Some of the engineering things you need a standardization to assure your things is good. And I think these are all the things that you should know lah. I think this is it for manhole. And yeah, one key thing was over here. This is the website. Like you can come here, or also from the slides. There's a link. So the resin rheology is very fast. The resin rheology is very fast, has a very fast cure rate. So the rheology is this one, the branch of physics that deal with formation of flow of matter. Alright, so it's more on the fluid flow. Yeah, so yeah. So therefore the fluid flow is very fast, and therefore because you are using a resin transfer molding, alright, therefore you're gonna talk about the resin flowing through. the viscosity, and therefore consistency is very important. And yeah lor, high level, as you can see, these are the things. I think this is it for the manhole, I guess. So yeah, and factor of safety is 2, did I say? Yeah, okay, 2, yeah, correct. So it's a static short term loading, because sometimes people step on the lid, sometimes people don't step on the lid, sometimes the car go over it, sometimes the car don't go over it. So yeah lor, I think that's it. So yeah.